Hey everyone, welcome to Tenacity, the podcast where we explore the forgotten skills that can ensure our survival and self-sufficiency. I'm Dr. Bradley Garrett, your host and guide on this journey, and in today's episode, we're going to delve, or douse, methods of finding, collecting, and storing water to make sure that you never find yourself running dry. Tenacity, the things we do to survive. So let's start from the beginning here. How much water do you actually need to survive? The US CDC suggests storing 1 gallon of water per person per day for 3 days. Best practice, according to the government, is to store enough water for at least 2 weeks. So I live in a household with 2 humans, 3 horses, 2 dogs, and 3 guinea pigs. So that's quite a lot of thirst to quench. I've got 20 5-gallon jugs stored. So that's 100 gallons, which should keep us going for around 3 weeks if the taps stop working. And about 10 minutes from my house are the San Bernardino Mountains. And most of the year, this is where I can find clear running water, which I can harvest. To do that, I have this thing here called a scavenger hose, which I use to pump the water out and put into jugs. But keep in mind, if you're out in the wild, you want to make sure that the water you're collecting comes from a source of fast-flowing water, and that your scavenger's clean and the filter is closed while you're pumping. So what you want to do is keep pumping until you fill the cylinder on the pump, and then there's a little lever down here, and you're going to dump it out and start filling your vessel. For me, storing water makes the most sense because I have space. That being said, you can only store these bottles for about 6 months, so you should be practicing FIFO storage here. That's first in, first out storage. And what you might want to do is when you fill these bottles, put a piece of tape on the bottle with the date that you acquired them so that you know when to cycle them out. It's not a bad idea to keep track of these things. You'll also want to store these containers in a place with cool temperatures and away from direct sunlight. Now, pollutants can be present in water, whether it's coming from a stream or from your municipal water tank. Drinking any type of contaminated water can result in stuff like dengue fever, gastroenteritis, cholera, typhoid, and hepatitis, all kinds of biological dangers that can't be seen by the naked eye, like protozoa, bacteria, and viruses. What I generally call biobugs can get into your water. So let's go through some best practices for water purification and disinfection. Now, I've got water from my local creek, I've got a stove, liquid bleach, an eyedropper, and some coffee filters. And this is everything that you need to do what I call the CDF method: clarification, disinfection, and filtration. So step 1 here in CDF is clarification. This is removing all the floating and suspended matter by pouring it through something. Now you can pour it through clothing, paper towels, coffee filters, whatever you got. I like the coffee filter method, so I'm literally going to use 3 filters and pour this water into them, letting it drip into my vessel. Step 2 is disinfection. I'm going to fire up my stove and we're going to toast all of those microscopic little critters by getting this thing to a rolling boil. And once it's cooled down, throw some liquid bleach into that final container. 8 drops. That's how much the American Red Cross recommends adding to every gallon of clarified water. So I'll do this 5 times for 5 gallons, so 40 drops of bleach in total. And then the final step in CDF is filtration. Now my pump filter should have already trapped 99% of those biobugs, but if you didn't filter water at the source, now would be the time. Anyway, you can now seal this thing up with a tight lid and you're ready to go. You've got free water. And if you do run out and don't have access to a stream, you can consider other strategies, like walking through heavy dew before sunrise with cotton tied around your shins. The cotton will gather up the water and you can wring that out and filter it using the CDF method that you now know. If it's actually raining outside, it's super easy to make a catchment using existing rain gutters. And if it's dry outside, like it usually is here at my ranch in the Mojave Desert, water might remain in the pipes of your house even after the main supply has been turned off. So you can introduce some air into the plumbing by turning on the faucet in your home at the highest level, and then a small amount of water will trickle out from the lowest faucet in the house. Don't forget as well that if you have a tank water heater, there may be 20 to 50 gallons of clean drinking water available for emergency use right there. And I guess if all else fails, you can go looking for swimming pools in your neighborhood. Somebody's bound to have one, and you can definitely filter out that water using the CDF method. So that's it for this week, everyone. I'm Dr. Bradley Garrett, reminding you that paying for water is totally optional. Until next time, stay sharp and stay safe.